Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop for your Tuesday episode, Bob TV. Don't look like I got much done, but man has this been a fight. Whew. Tell you what, they sure make it look easy in them pictures. Getting all these things to fit right, it's just been a pain. Since I took them off and put them back on, it seems like something changed, something's different. But I've been past 2 days, nothing but putting these screws in, all these gear doors, 10 times a piece. Because if they ain't perfect, they'll stick up too high, and they won't open. And if they're too close, they won't open. And oh, it's just been a pain. Had to redo every one of my shims, every one of them. All right. But the good news is I'm almost done, and I'm not going to stop tonight till these gear doors are hinged, all of them. Only got these two back here to do. All these got screws in them. I just got to add the second ones. Oh, that one's got them both. But these up here, but them are easy. I go in from the inside and go through the fiberglass like this for these hinges. Well, I actually made a couple videos this morning, but stuff just wasn't working out right for me, guys. You know, kind of fighting it a little bit. It was not pretty. Well, I just stuck to it, you know. But this is the reason. These F-18s are hard gear doors. There's a bunch of them, and just the contour and where you're gonna put them. And the hard part is going through the epoxy that I just put in. I like to I got them tack glued in now. Okay, so I'll get one in there, one hole in, then come put a screw. Got a screw in that bad boy. So, they can't pop off. They pop off pretty easy. And see, that's why I want to put the screws, you know. All these gear doors, bang, you know, they just pop off easy on the F-18. There's a bunch of them hanging off the bottom of the airplane. Can't seem to beat it. But to make them all fit, it's just been a nightmare. Now I could have just glued them all on there in a day and used glue for my wedges, you know. But then, first time one breaks, it's just you gotta get all that glue out of there, and it's just a mess. And it's just easier if you can just undo a couple screws. You got wood wedges made. And I hope Kevin someday can replace a gear door in just minutes and say, man, I'm glad Bob did that. If all that works out right, then I guess it was well worth doing. You know? And plus, see, when you got to build up epoxy, you don't actually, that's not an ideal glue joint, you know. And the bond tends to be weaker. Bam. Okay, there's one screw in that one. Now I ain't got to worry about it popping off while I'm drilling the other hole. Okay, I'm going to do my bit. I'm not going to stop tonight. Oh, guys, guess what I finally got in today? Bam. My 294 RPM motors. Remember them other, for the Thunder Chief gear, them other ones were only like 120. So this will be a little more than twice as fast, which should put them at 5-6 seconds, which is perfect. Perfect, because I can slow the nose gear down that much. And be awesome. Can't believe ain't no one bought that yet. I always had it for sale on the internet. Sure wish I had the cash to buy it back. But I don't. But I always got that plane on RC Universe. Give someone a good deal on it. That's the awesomest thing I ever made. I love that Thunder Chief. That shit was mine. That's all I got to say about it. Oh, and the F4, man, it's just doing fantastic. I know, guys, I ain't doing a whole bunch right now, but you gotta remember, I don't fly a lot. I'm a little on the rusty side. And, you know, I'm not an ollie. By no means, never claimed to be. I can keep them in the air and usually make them last quite a while. But what I plan on doing, instead of trying to go out there and be Mr. Pro Pilot first day, I want to kind of add maneuvers as I go. See, if you notice this weekend, I added my half a loop and then the rollout. Also added some zoom climbs. Do you guys see that? See, now next time I go out and I got my 4-point rolls looking good. I know I need to get them a little lower, a little more in the center. But you also got to remember, that's why I kind of cut across the field when I land like that. The north end of Afton, we don't have very far that way. And we can't go outside of the flying park because there's campers down there. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but you know, we're not supposed to fly north of this road that goes down there. And but that road kind of angles, so I kind of cheat. I kind of do that. You know, and I turn with that road. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but and that way I don't fly with the campers, don't get them guys mad. Because they don't like that. And it's not safe, and I don't want to, you know, so. But that's kind of why I need to work on my last little turn a little bit. I'll get it, but last weekend there were some guys who kind of crashed a little plane out there while I was flying. They was down there picking up their plane. They was right at that road. They said, Bob, you was not crossing that road at all during that last flight. They said on my landing, I came across probably dead even with the road. And that was the farthest I made it that way. But you know, I kind of figured I was staying in the park. You know, I've been flying there for years, and that's kind of why I do my banana passes too. Because you can go a long way south, but it kind of gets narrow down there because of the roads. But see, if I kind of do my little banana jog inward, that, you know, if I'm doing like a low turn where I don't gain a bunch of altitude, I kind of swerve out that way and come back. But you just got to always be aware, you know, of your boundaries. And we do have a couple there at Lake Afton. And, you know, they're not super picky about it. But some of the boys did crash in by the campers this weekend. His motor died when he was down there and couldn't do nothing about it. And Put it right in between a couple campers. And we do not need that stuff like that out there. You know. But if it was a jet, it would be a big deal. So I pretty much stay in the boundaries. The Tomcat's a little harder, but you notice, if anything, I go over the lake, and you know, there ain't nobody over the lake. But I'm real aware of not coming south of the campers. I stay south of them campers. But just wait, I'll start adding stuff as I go with that F4. You don't want to jump in there and be Mr. Pro Pilot, you know, first few flights. But that, I've got 10 flights on it now and starting to get pretty comfortable with it, and I'll start adding some maneuvers. That way I can go out there and I just throw a couple new maneuvers in, and I just work on them, you know. And when I'm comfortable doing that, I'll add something else. And after 4 or 5 more trips to the flying field, I'm going to be making that F4 look good, baby. That's kind of my theory about it anyway. You know, because I'm not Ollie, and I never will be. You know? I just love to fly, man. I just love it. I just absolutely love it. If I go out there and do nothing but laps, I just love every minute of that. You know what I mean? But everyone likes to see it look good and go through the air and zoom climb. And I want to start. I used to do a lot of you know, the cap and extras and stuff like that years ago, and I always like to do them waterfalls. So instead of a snap, I want to do a loop with just the aileron roll on the top and then come down. I'm going to start working on that, I think. Kind of a cheating little waterfall with a aileron roll at the top of a loop. And then see, I'll get that into the mix along with everything I'm doing now, and before you know it, I'm just going to be baby steps. Baby steps. Yeah, see, once I got all these top ones bolted in the right place with the right shim, these others are easy. Then, you know, I glued them to the back side of the hinges. Not a lot, just a little bit to hold them so I can drill the holes. But that's kind of my theory on the F4, and I'm going to start getting my approaches to my landing a little bit straighter. So it seems like I can always hit the runway. Sometimes I come in from that angle because I cut that corner. So I go vroom like that, and my last little cut I need to wait just a split second. You know? I'm going to say this though, I like flying that F4. I really enjoy it. It lands nice. I think that airplane's going to be around a while, fellas. I really do. Yeah. Come on. You know, I wish it was a different color scheme. I like that Jolly Roger, but there's just so many of them, you know. That's pretty much, you see one, you see a Skymaster F4, that's pretty much the color scheme of 85% of them. But they sure do look good in the air though. Another thing I'm going to work on, guys, is I like these turns like Ollie does. You know, he'll come in from the downwind leg, kind of over the runway, you know. Then he shoots up, and he does that aileron roll, and then goes into his turn. Does that reverse aileron roll, you know, goes around this way, and then comes around, then turns. I like that move. I'm going to snag that from his repertoire. But see, I ain't going to work on all these moves at once. To where, you know what I mean? And I'll just wait, you know, wait till I get a new move down pretty good and fit it into the pattern. See, because, man, when you're flying these fast jets, you know, energy is life. You can't bleed off your energy. And you have to set up for everything you do. You know, and you have to, so, you know, and you're going so fast, you have to think what you need to do over here when you're start your turn. You know what I mean? And you just don't have a lot of time to, you know, think. It's just got to be a reaction. You know what I mean? But because everything you do, you have to set yourself up. You can't just come out of a turn and do something. You got to be in the, you know, the right speed and the right place, and it's just that, you know, people like Ollie make it look so easy. You know, the guy's just incredible. You know, there's others. What am I doing? That's already done, maybe. You know, there's others out there that are good. I'm, you know, not knocking anybody. I'm just saying I wish I was. But you get there by doing it, you know, and my main thing is I spend too much time in the shop. Don't get out enough. But, you know, I said I was going to change that this summer and didn't quite make it this summer. Got out a little bit, but not like I wanted. But I'm going to start doing it more. As much as I can. Because old Wes, man, Wes is hardcore. You know, it's wintertime. He's out there with that camper. The heater's on in that camper. So you go out there and fly, then you run in the camper and get warmed up. See? Man, this was... And the good thing about that F4 is I could put it in the trailer without taking the wings off and on. Oh, and the F-18. Okay, I don't know why the gear didn't go up, guys. I didn't cycle them before I left, you know, and it's been out in the trailer. It's been cold. I probably just gummed up. There's nothing wrong with them. I should have cycled them. Might have been a little low on air pressure. Something of that nature. There's nothing wrong. But I took off. It was a little bit out of trim. And I was messing with the trim, you know, when I was flying it. And before you know it, I was flying it with a half a stick. So, actually, I think what I did is I was trimming it the wrong way. Had to be it, because we checked it. There's nothing wrong with the elevators. Everything's tight. It had to be it. Because at first it was a little bit out of trim. If you've seen the videos, you know, it was coming back, you know, that. And before you know it, I was flying that thing, holding the quarter stick over. You know, the gear was down. So I just said, well, let's just land it. Which I wish I would have got it trimmed out now, because now I'm going to take off without a trim airplane. But actually, I think that's what I had to have been hitting that trim the wrong way. You know. And hey, you know, people make mistakes. Nothing got hurt, so we're good to go. But I'm going to keep working on this, guys. I'm going to get all these gear doors done today, and I am not going to go to bed till it happens. And then all I got to do is hook up the air cylinders, then it'll be easy. And I can start on some wings. I got to get the glass in, man. I got to get that glass. I got to get that Mustang primed up when I do all this priming. And get to rolling. I'm running out of time. I got other stuff I need to do. And so I got to get to rolling, baby. And I'll make y'all some videos when I can. And we'll be back in the shop.